You see, it's much smaller, isn't it? I mean, it was the same height. You know, it would have been up to about there when my father wore it.
It's difficult to always remember that diamonds are stones, so they're very heavy.
Yes. Fortunately, my father and I have about the same sort of shaped head. But once you put it on, it stays. I mean, it just remains itself.
You have to keep your head very still.
Yes. And you can't look down to read the speech. You have to take the speech up. Because if you did, your neck would break, or it'd fall off.
What if the most famous woman in history was hiding her greatest treasures in plain sight? While the world is well acquainted with the dazzling spectacle of the crown jewels housed in the Tower of London, there exists a far more mysterious and intimate collection tucked away in a steel-reinforced vault beneath Buckingham Palace. This is the private jewelry collection of late Queen Elizabeth II, a sovereign hoard that was not owned by the state, but by the woman herself. Beyond the heavy ceremonial crowns used for pageantry lies a personal treasure trove so vast it could bankroll a small nation, yet it remained largely hidden from public view for over 70 decades. In this deep dive, we're cracking open the heavy vault doors to explore the staggering scale of this collection. Over 300 high jewelry items, including 98 brooches, 46 necklaces, 37 bracelets, 34 pairs of earrings, 20 tiaras, 15 rings, 14 watches, and 5 pendants.
She was a happy owner of over 300 jewelry items, including 98 brooches, 46 necklaces, 37 bracelets, 34 earrings, 20 tiaras, 15 rings, 14 watches, and 5 pendants.
This isn't just a list of expensive accessories, it is a physical map of a 70-year reign, a 400-year-old dynasty, and the private memories of a monarch who used diamonds as a silent language of diplomacy and love. From Granny's chips, the world's most valuable brooch, to a secret watch hidden in a bracelet, we're going to reveal why the Queen's private jewels are far more fascinating than the public ones. By the end of this journey, you'll see that the true secret treasure wasn't the carats, but the stories behind the stones. To comprehend the sheer scale of the Queen's private vault, you have to look past the glitz and into the raw data of a 70-year accumulation. While the crown jewels are the property of the state, the Queen's personal collection is a staggering sovereign hoard estimated to contain over 300 high jewelry items. This inventory is so vast that it requires its own meticulous cataloging system: 98 brooches, 46 necklaces, 37 bracelets, 34 pairs of earrings, 20 tiaras, 15 rings, 14 watches, and 5 pendants. This isn't just a jewelry box, it is a physical timeline of the 20th and 21st centuries. Many of these pieces were diplomatic gifts from world leaders, while others were inherited from her grandmother, Queen Mary, who was arguably the most voracious jewelry collector in royal history. Imagine a vault where every drawer you pull out contains enough wealth to purchase a fleet of private jets.
Though the imperial state crown has never been appraised, some experts estimate its price at a breathtaking $3 billion.
In this collection, the Queen didn't just store gold and diamonds, she stored her legacy. For example, within those 37 bracelets is a sapphire and diamond Cartier piece given to her by her father, King George VI, for her 18th birthday, a sentimental relic of a princess before she was a queen. The 15 rings include her engagement ring, which features diamonds taken from a tiara belonging to Prince Philip's mother. This massive collection allowed the Queen to find a piece for every possible occasion, from a local charity visit to a state banquet with a superpower. It forces the question, how does one woman decide what to wear when her choices are literally the most valuable in human history? History is written in gold and diamonds. If you want to go behind the velvet rope of the world's most exclusive vaults, hit that subscribe button and join our royal investigators. We're just getting started. If the Queen's jewelry collection had a special forces unit, it would undoubtedly be her 98 brooches. While most people view a brooch as a simple decorative pin, Elizabeth II used them as a sophisticated system of silent diplomacy. For over 70 years, she rarely gave interviews, yet she spoke volumes through the stones pinned to her left shoulder. Among these 98 pieces is the legendary Cullinan 3 and 4, a staggering 158-carat diamond brooch that the Queen affectionately nicknamed Granny's Chips. This name is perhaps the ultimate royal humble flex, calling the third and fourth largest diamonds ever cut from the historic Cullinan stone chips because they were smaller than the massive gems set in the scepter and the crown. Valued at over £50 million, Granny's Chips is likely the most valuable brooch on the planet, yet the Queen wore it with the casual grace of a family heirloom. But the brooch code went deeper than just raw value. It was about emotional and political messaging. For example, her Scarab brooch, a modern sunburst of yellow gold, rubies, and diamonds, was a personal gift from Prince Philip in 1966. She chose to wear this specific piece for their official 70th anniversary portrait, a silent tribute to her strength and stay. On the political stage shoe, she was equally calculated. During a controversial state visit by a foreign leader in 2018, royal watchers noted she wore a modest American-made brooch gifted to her by the Obamas, a choice many interpreted as a subtle signal of her personal allegiances. Whether she was wearing the maple leaf for Canada or the fern for New Zealand, these 98 brooches allowed the Queen to honor an entire nation without saying a single word. Are you starting to see the hidden language of the royals? Like this video if you think the Queen was the ultimate master of the secret flex, and drop a comment if you knew about Granny's Chips. While the imperial state crown is the public face of the monarchy, the Queen's private collection of 20 tiaras contains pieces that are arguably more beautiful and historically significant. Unlike the state-owned crowns, which are essentially office equipment for a monarch, these 20 tiaras were her personal property. Among them is the Grand Duchess Vladimir Tiara, a piece with a survival story that rivals any Hollywood thriller. Originally smuggled out of Russia during the 1917 revolution by a British intelligence officer, it was eventually purchased by the Queen's grandmother. It is a masterpiece of versatility, designed so the Queen could swap its hanging pearls for emeralds or wear it widowed, completely empty, depending on her outfit. This ability to remix a tiara is a testament to the Queen's practical approach to luxury. She didn't just want a crown, she wanted a tool of transformation. However, not every tiara in the vault was a success story. The collection includes forgotten pieces like the Plunket tiara, which have rarely seen the light of day, and the Nizam of Hyderabad tiara, which the Queen famously had dismantled to create a new one, the Burma Ruby tiara. This highlights a fascinating aspect of the Queen's 70-year reign. She wasn't afraid to destroy a historic piece to build something that better suited her personal style. Perhaps the most famous story from this vault is the Queen Mary Fringe tiara, which the Queen wore on her wedding day in 1947. Just moments before she was set to leave for Westminster Abbey, the ancient frame snapped in half. In a scene of pure royal chaos, the court jeweler was rushed under police escort to his workshop, repairing the piece in under 2 hours. To the 200 million people watching the ceremony, the tiara looked perfect. But to the Queen, it was a reminder that even the most glittering exterior can have a fragile core. In the world of the ultra-rich, a watch is often a loud statement of ego, but for Queen Elizabeth II, her 14 watches were instruments of discretion. The Queen was an unlikely collector, favoring time watches that were feminine, tiny, and often designed to look like bracelets. The crown jewel of this 14-piece collection is undoubtedly the Jaeger-LeCoultre LC-101 she wore for her coronation in 1953. This watch houses the smallest mechanical movement ever created, a feat of engineering so minute that the entire mechanism weighs barely a gram. The reason for such a tiny watch? Royal etiquette dictated that it was considered impolite for a monarch to check the time during a ceremony. The LC-101 was so small, it was effectively hidden among her diamonds, allowing her to take a quick, secret glance at the time without the public ever noticing. Beyond the coronation watch, the Queen's daily rotation revealed a penchant for the holy trinity of watchmaking: Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin. For her daily duties, she was most often spotted wearing an Audemars Piguet Jules Audemars in yellow gold. It was a practical, no-nonsense choice that matched her official uniform of a bright coat and a 3-strand pearl necklace. Interestingly, her collection also included a Vacheron Constantin 4481, a diamond-set cocktail watch given to her as a wedding gift in 1947, which she eventually passed down to Princess Diana. This demonstrates the Queen's view of her 14 watches not as status symbols, but as heritage pieces to be utilized and eventually shared. She didn't need a bulky power watch to prove she was in charge. She let the precision of her Swiss calibers do the talking for her. Imagine checking the time on a watch smaller than a matchstick. Share this video with a watch lover who needs to see the Queen's hidden collection, and let's keep the investigation moving. Of all the categories in the vault, the 46 necklaces held the most profound emotional weight for the Queen. While she had access to the most massive diamonds in the world, her go-to was always her 3-strand pearl necklace. What the public didn't know is that she actually owned 3 nearly identical versions of this necklace. The first was a gift from her father, King George VI, for her silver jubilee. She loved it so much that she eventually had a second one made to avoid wearing out the original, and a third joined the collection later as a gift from the Emir of Qatar. This rotation system ensured that her official uniform always looked pristine, but it also kept the deeply sentimental original safe from the rigors of her 21,000 official engagements. The 46-piece collection also includes pieces with staggering historical pedigree, like the Anne Queen and Queen Caroline pearls. These are two distinct